The Vision and the Voice, Liber 418, chronicles the mystical journey of Aleister Crowley, 1875 to 1947, as he explored the 30 Enochian ethers originally developed by Dr. John Dee and Edward Kelly in the 16th century. These visions took place at two times. In 1900 during his stay in Mexico, and later in 1909 in Algeria in the company of poet Victor Benjamin Newberg. Of all his works, Crowley considered this book to be second in importance behind the Book of the Law, the text that established his religious and philosophical system of Thelema in 1904. The Vision and the Voice is the source of many of the central spiritual doctrines of Thelema, especially in the visions of Babylon and her consort Chaos, the All-Father, as well as an account of how an individual might cross the abyss, thereby assuming the title of Master of the Temple and taking a place in the city of the pyramids under the Night of Pan. Crowley describes the method of this work's transmission in its introduction thus: the method of obtaining the vision and the voice was as follows. The seer had with him a great golden topaz, set in a Calvary cross of 6 squares, made of wood and painted vermilion, which was engraved with a Greek cross of 5 squares, charged with a rose of 49 petals. He held this as a rule in his hand. After choosing a spot where he was not likely to be disturbed, he would take this stone and recite the Enochian call, and after satisfying himself that the forces invoked were actually present, made the topaz play a part not unlike that of the looking-glass in the case of Alice. He would then describe what he saw and repeat what he heard, and Frater O.V., the scribe, would write down his words, and incidentally observe any phenomena which struck him as peculiar. By drafting these 30 Enochian airs, Crowley brought the total number of Enochian evocations up from Dee's sum of 18 plus 1, the last being for the 30 airs all-inclusive, to the new Aeon sum of 49, a fact which would not have gone unnoticed by Crowley, who further writes in the introduction about how Dee and Kelly had procured their original Enochian system. Dee would have one or more of these tables, as a rule 49 by 49, some full, others lettered only on alternate squares, before him on a writing table. Kelly would sit at what they called the holy table, and gaze into a showstone, in which he would see an angel, who would point with a wand to letters on one of these charts in succession. Kelly would report, for example, he points to column 6, rank 31, and so on, apparently not mentioning the letter which Dee found and wrote down from the table before him. When the angel had finished, the message was rewritten backwards. It should also be noted by the student of Enochian magic that, although translated by Crowley, between 1901, when he began work on the Goetic Lesser Key of Solomon, and 1916, when it was published, the 11 conjurations therein, including 2 curses, given in the Enochian language developed by Dee and Kelly in the 1500s, are not originally Enochian in their content. These appear to be translations of portions of the Goetia itself into Enochian, however should be considered no more authentically Enochian than the Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey, which also uses an Enochian evocation, however substitutes the name Satan for the names of the spirits to be invoked. If Crowley's Enochian language translations of segments from Goetia were included in the corpus of authentically Enochian evocations, defined as being given in the Enochian language of Dee and Kelly, then the total sum of all these would be around 60 different calls.